Object Pascal refers to a branch of object-oriented derivatives of Pascal, mostly known as the primary programming language of Embarcadero Delphi. Early history at Apple. Object Pascal is an extension of the Pascal language that was developed at Apple Computer by a team led by Larry Tesler in consultation with Niklaus Wirth, the inventor of Pascal. It is descended from an earlier object-oriented version of Pascal called Classical, which was available on the Lisa computer. Object Pascal was needed in order to support MacApp, an expandable Macintosh application framework that would now be called a class library. Object Pascal extensions in MacApp itself were developed by Barry Haynes, Ken Doyle, and Larry Rosenstein, and were tested by Dan Allen. Larry Tesler oversaw the project, which began very early in 1985 and became a product in 1986. An Object Pascal extension was also implemented in the Thing Pascal IDE. The IDE includes the compiler and an editor with syntax highlighting and checking, a powerful debugger and a class library. Many developers preferred Thing Pascal over Apple's implementation of Object Pascal because Thing Pascal offered a tight integration of its tools. The development stopped after the 4.01 version because the company was bought by Symantec. The developers then left the project. Apple dropped support for Object Pascal when they moved from Motorola 68K chips to IBM's PowerPC architecture in 1994. MacApp 3.0, for this platform, was rewritten in C++. Borland and Code Gear years. In 1986, Borland introduced similar extensions, also called Object Pascal, to the Turbo Pascal products for the Macintosh, and in 1989 for Turbo Pascal 5.5 for DOS. When Borland refocused from DOS to Windows in 1994, they created a successor to Turbo Pascal, called Delphi, and introduced a new set of extensions to create what is now known as the Delphi language. The development of Delphi started in 1993 and Delphi 1.0 was officially released in the United States on 14 February 1995. While code using the Turbo Pascal object model could still be compiled, Delphi featured a new syntax using the keyword class in preference to object, the create constructor and a virtual destroy destructor, properties, method pointers, and some other things. These were inspired by the ISO working draft for object-oriented extensions, but many of the differences from Turbo Pascal's dialect were ignored. The Delphi language has continued to evolve over the years to support constructs such as dynamic arrays, generics and anonymous methods. Versions. Borland used the name Object Pascal for the programming language in the first versions of Delphi, but later renamed it to the Delphi programming language. However, compilers that claim to be compatible with Object Pascal are often trying to be compatible with Delphi source code. Because Delphi is trademarked, compatible compilers continued using the name Object Pascal. Embarcadero Technologies, which purchased Delphi in 2008, sells the Delphi IDE that compiles the Delphi dialect of Object Pascal to Windows and Mac OS X, iOS, Android and web. Net support existed from Delphi 8 through Delphi 2005, Delphi 2006 and Delphi 2007, which now has been replaced by another language, Oxygen, which is not fully backward compatible. The Oxygen programming language developed by Ream Objects Software targets the Common Language Infrastructure, the Java runtime environment and Apple's Cocoa frameworks for iOS and Mac OS X. The Morphic Pascal programming language developed by Morphic targets Ajax-enabled web applications. The Morphic compiler is incorporated into the company's apps builder IDE and allows Object Pascal code to be used in implementing code that will execute both in the browser and on the server. It uses the free Pascal compiler to generate native binaries from Object Pascal. The open-source free Pascal project allows the language to be compiled for a wide range of operating systems, including Linux, FreeBSD, Mac OS, Mac OS X, Solaris, Win32, Win64 and Windows CE, as well as for several different hardware architectures. The first version of Free Pascal for the iPhone SDK2.x was announced on January 17, 2009. Now there is support for the ARM ISA also. The Smart Pascal programming language targets JavaScript, ECMAScript and is used in Smart Mobile Studio. Written by John Lennart-Arsenden and published by Optimal Systema. The language greatly simplifies HTML5 development through open-ended approaches. Smart Pascal integrates tightly with established technologies such as Node.js, Embarcadero Datasnap and ReamObjects SDK to deliver high-performance client-server web applications. The language allows for easy creation of visual components and reusable libraries. The Smart Pascal dialect stems from the DW-script language extended to better integrate with the JavaScript environment and libraries, such as ASM sections which are plain JavaScript but have access to Pascal symbols, or external classes which map directly to prototypal JavaScript classes. Smart Pascal introduces true inheritance, classes, partial classes, interfaces, a virtual method table and many other advanced constructs which are not a part of JavaScript by default. Modlet Pascal is aimed at the Java bytecode platform. The open-source GNU Pascal compiler is available as a front-end to the GNU Compiler Collection, which implements the ISO 7185 Pascal standard, and most of the ISO 10206 extended Pascal standard. Also, a free compiler, Turbo 51, is available for producing code for Intel 8051 chips. WD Sybil is an open-source Delphi-like hidden compiler available for Microsoft Windows and OS X, and is a commercial Ball and Pascal-compatible environment released by a company called Speedsoft that was later developed into a Delphi-like RAD environment called Sybil and then open-sourced under the GPL when that company closed down. Wolfgang Draxler now maintains the software. Compilers. Object Pascal compilers are available for a wide range of operating systems and architectures. Embarcadero Delphi is probably the best-known compiler. It is the successor of the highly successful Ball and Pascal and Turbo Pascal products line. It targets Win16, Win32, Windows 64-bit, the Net1 by 2.0 and Mac OS X, iOS, Android. Support for .NET finally became a separate product known as Oxygen. Free Pascal Compiler is an open-source Object Pascal compiler that supports many Pascal dialects, including those of Turbo Pascal 7 and Delphi, among others. Currently, FPC can generate code for x86, x86-64, PowerPC, Spark, and ARM processors, and for various operating systems, including Microsoft Windows, Linux, FreeBSD, Mac OS and Mac OS X. Several separate projects exist to facilitate rapid application development with FPC, the most prominent one being the Lazarus IDE. GNU Pascal. While not formally aimed at the Delphi dialect of Pascal, it does contain a Ball and Pascal compatibility mode, and is very slowly incorporating a few Delphi language features. It is unsuitable for recompiling large bodies of Delphi code directly, but is noteworthy as having prolific support for operating systems and hardware architectures. Oxygen is an Object Pascal compiler from ReamObjects software that integrates into Microsoft Visual Studio. It is also available as free command-line compiler that runs native on CLI. It is 3 compilers in one, each targeting a different platform. Echoes for .NET, Mono, WINRT, Windows Phone 8, Cooper for Java and Android and Nougat for iOS and OS X. Modlet Pascal is a mobile application development tool that generates Java ME bytecode. Pocket Studio is a Pascal-based IDE for Palm OS. Smart Mobile Studio is a compiler that transforms Pascal source code to JavaScript. Legacy product Spall and Kylix was a Linux variant of Delphi which only targets Intel 32-bit Linux using the Qt library. It does not work out of the box with most modern Linux distributions. Virtual Pascal was a free 32-bit Turbo Pascal and Delphi-compatible compiler aimed mainly at OS X and Microsoft Windows, although it also developed a DOS Plus extender and an experimental Linux cross-compiler. The compiler's development stopped at about the level of Delphi 2. In 2007, with its official website ceasing to operate, Virtual Pascal was discontinued from being further developed. Interpreters Pascal Script and DW Script are open-source Object Pascal interpreters, scripting engines written in Delphi. They support subsets of Object Pascal. DW Script can also compile Object Pascal code into JavaScript code, and supports just-in-time compilation. Sample Hello World programs. Apple's Object Pascal program. Object Pascal example, type hello world equals object, procedure put, end, var hello world. Hello world, procedure hello world, put, began show message, end, begin new, hello world, put, dispose, end. Turbo Pascal's Object Pascal still supported in Delphi and Free Pascal. FPC also packages its own substitutes for the library's units. Delphi doesn't. The Free Pascal 1.0 series and the FPC text mode IDE are the largest open codebases in this dialect. Free Pascal 2.0 was rewritten in a more Delphi-like dialect, and the text mode IDE and related frameworks are the only parts in the TP version of Object Pascal. Stack-based allocation program. Object Pascal example, type hello world equals object, procedure put, end, procedure hello world, put, begin write-all, end, var, hello world. Hello world, allocated on the stack and can be used without explicit allocation. Begin hello world, put, end. Heap-based allocation program. Object Pascal example, type hello world equals caret hello world equals object, procedure put, end, procedure, hello world, put, begin write-all, end, var hello world. Hello world, this is a typed pointer to a hello world, begin new, hello world caret, put, dispose, end. Another example. Program. Object Pascal example, type hello world equals caret hello world equals object, procedure put, end, procedure hello world, put, begin write-all, end, var hello world. Hello world, this is a typed pointer to a hello world 2. Caret hello world, this is a direct variable to a pointer of the hello world type. This variable is type incompatible with hello world. Hello world 3. Caret hello world, the compiler sees this as being type incompatible with hello world 2 and hello world. Using the pointer syntax is the only way to declare a type that is assignment compatible. Hello world 4. Hello world, this is type compatible with hello world, but incompatible with the other two variables. Begin. This works in a similar way as the code above, but it demonstrates the disadvantage of not using a specific type. The type definition between two variables using the raw pointer-based notation would be seen as different by the compiler. New hello world equals hello world 4. This is valid. The type assignment is valid. Hello world 2 equals hello world. This would be a compiler error. Dispose is left out for brevity. New hello world equals hello world 3. This would be a compiler error. Hello world 2 equals hello world 3. This would be a compiler error. Dispose is left out for brevity. End. This is an important distinction to make, and could be seen as one of the key differences that led to the Delphi style of hiding the heap allocation and pointer notation from the programmer. Delphi removed the need for the additional pointer type and pointer syntax, but retained the explicit construction mechanism. Delphi and Free Pascal's object Pascal program object Pascal example type hello world equals class procedure put end procedure hello world put begin rital end var hello world. Hello world. This is an implicit pointer. Begin hello world equals hello world. Create constructor returns a pointer to an object of type hello world. Hello world put hello world free. This line deallocates the hello world object pointed to by hello world end. Note that the object construct is still available in Delphi and Free Pascal. Oxygen object Pascal namespace object Pascal example interface type console app equals class method main end hello world equals class method put end implementation method hello world put begin console write line end class method console app main begin var hello world equals new hello world. Hello world put end DW scripts objects Pascal type hello world equals class procedure put began println end var hello world equals hello world create hello world put. Note that the method implementation can also be made in a distinct location as in other objects Pascal dialects. Development. Many features have been introduced continuously to Object Pascal with extensions to Delphi, now also by Free Pascal. In reaction to criticisms, Free Pascal has adopted generics, and both Delphi and Free Pascal now support operator overloading. Delphi has also introduced many other features since version 7 including generics.